There was a time in 2017 where I was stuck in a hospital bed because they had to keep me under surveillance. I was thinking about unaliving myself, but I was too scared to go through it, actually commit to it, and I hated myself for it because I knew if I'm not able to actually take action on this, then I have to live with my depression, I have to live with my anxiety, and it just agitated me because I realized that my life is just going to be terrible the rest of my life because nobody seems to care about me. Nobody seems to care that I'm struggling in my life. I can't really talk to people normally the way like everybody else can talk to each other. My anxiety was bad, bro. Like there was a time when my teacher had to do my presentation for me because I said, I'm not doing my presentation, bro. I'm not standing up in front of the class and doing my presentation. Like, there's no way I'm gonna do it. If you want to fail me, you can fail me, but I'm not taking this test. I'm not doing this presentation. And, he said, okay, I understand. I'll do this first presentation for you, but the next one you're gonna have to do. So I said, all right, cool. And he did my presentation for me. Like, my anxiety was bad when I say that I could not talk to people, bro. That was 6, 7 years ago when I was like really struggling with anxiety. I realized then that nothing is going to change if you don't change. Nobody is going to come and save you. You need to go and save yourself. Like I'm not even being pessimistic. I'm not saying like, oh, the world sucks, so like you need to actually defend for yourself. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, I'm not being optimistic either because I feel like false optimism is also just as bad if because you do want to be optimistic of the future. You do want to be hopeful that there's hope for you, but you don't want to take it too far where you're deluding yourself, thinking it's okay. I'm just gonna sit here and my knight in shining armor is gonna come and rescue me. There's gonna be somebody come and save me from my depression, save me from my anxiety, save me from the mental torment that I go through every single day. And I'm here to tell you, like, you need to actually be real with yourself. That's not going to happen. You're not going to have somebody come and save you. You're not a damsel in distress because let's say you're trying to change your life, right? You have like these mental health problems, you like overweight and you want to go start working out and actually look better, you want to actually fix your life. Who is going to fix your life? Nobody's gonna come and tell you to fix your life. Nobody's going to come and tell you, bro, you're like actually messing up, like why don't you actually go work out and stuff. Nobody's gonna tell you, bro. If you're in a bad time in your life, if you're struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with like body image issues, nobody's gonna come and save you. Nobody's come and try to save you from your depression, from your like mental health. Like we think we're the main characters, right? Like we think like we're the center of attention and we think like everybody else is just like a side character in our lives. You need to realize these side characters, they have their own problems to deal with too. They got their own side quests too. So it's like they don't have time to help you all the time. They don't have time to like actually sit down with you and give you like one-on-one advice on how to like improve yourself, how to actually change your life. You need to do that yourself. If you want to work out, the only person who's going to move those weights is you. If you want to eat cleaner and have a better diet, the only person who's going to choose what they eat is you. If you want to change your life, the only person who can change it is you. You can watch videos online from people telling you like you need to get your life together. You can get all this advice in the world on how to fix your life. But if you don't actually take initiative and actually change it for yourself, nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you struggle with mental health, nothing's gonna change that if you don't change it yourself. If you struggle with your weight, nothing's gonna change if you don't change it yourself. One of the most important character traits a young man can develop for himself is self-dependence, because it is tough when you have your mom and dad's provides for you your entire life, where you be an adult and you don't need to worry about bills, you don't need to worry about food, you don't need to worry about anything because you got it all covered. Back in the day, like what, 50, 60 years ago, you didn't have that luxury. You're working in the factories by the age of like 10 years old, 12 years old. So like you had to work, you had to provide for yourself, provide for the world around you at such a young age. Now, the men of today, we get babied even until like our mid-20s. You are a man, bro. You're supposed to be providing for yourself mentally, physically, whatever. You're supposed to be providing for yourself, for your own betterment by the age you hit puberty. By the time you hit puberty, you're a man. I don't care if you think like, oh, but I'm 15 years old, I still have 3 years until adult. No. Once you hit puberty, once you're able to reproduce, you are a man at that point. But now you have young men up like 18, 19, 20 years old who have no idea what to do with their lives. They have no idea how to take care of themselves because they've been babied by their parents. They want to be babied by their wives or their girlfriends, and they want to be protected. you're not supposed to be protected. You're supposed to be the protector. And I know it's tough, and like in this economy where it's like, well, I need my parents to support me because like we're kind of broke right now, and it's like the economy is trash. Like I understand that, but you still need to find a way to provide for yourself, provide for your family. Because what if they disappeared? Your parents disappeared, so did your source of income, so did your source of food, so did your shelter. Everything that you depend on your parents for is all gone too. So now what are you going to do? This is why it's so important for you to become self-dependent, become self-resilient, because the world is going to throw a lot of bullshit at you, and you need to be able to prepare for it. You need to be mentally and physically strong, because without one or the other, without mental resilience, you won't have physical resilience. Without physical resilience, you won't have mental resilience. So you need to develop both. And you can't just have somebody spoon feed it to you. You need to actually go out your way and develop it for yourself. Because, I've had people hop on coaching calls with me, right? Like I have like free coaching calls that I do. You could go on the description and check it out. I have people go on their coaching calls with me, and I'll tell them like, they'll ask me advice like how can I actually like improve my life, and I'll give it to them. I'll step by step like create a plan for them, and then sometimes I'll check up on them like a couple of weeks later, and I'll ask them like, so how much progress have you made in your goals? It's like, oh, I haven't started yet. And it's like, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but it's like if you don't do the work yourself, it doesn't matter how many coaching calls you go on, doesn't matter how many YouTube videos you watch, it doesn't matter how many books you read, it's all for nothing. Because if you're not willing to save yourself, nobody's gonna save you. Now, I don't want you to feel all agitated and scared. If you're feeling like that, take a deep breath with me right now. Okay, you calm down. Because there are two paths you can take. You can have the first path where it's like you lose yourself to the darkness, thinking, well, nobody's coming to save me. What's the point of actually relying on anybody? What's the point of having any friends? What's the point of talking to people? I'm just going to do my own thing and focus on myself. That's not what you want to do, because when you're so angry at everybody, when you're so angry at the world, you will end up realizing it's such a big waste of time to be angry. Because I've been there, bro. I've been in this position where it's like I hate my life, I hate everybody around me, and it's like all I want to do is just go to sleep and not want to wake up the next day. Because it really is a waste of time. You end up missing out on so much beauty there is in this life. Even if it is tough, even if it is challenging, it's still a life worth living. And then there's the second option where you understand that, okay, nobody's going to come and save me, and that's okay. Build the skills that you need to actually be self-dependent. Be the skills that you need so that if somebody does need help, you can help them. We live in this world where everybody thinks it's me against the world. Nobody wants to help each other. Even if nobody's going to come and save you, you still need to have the skill to help other people if they need it. You don't want the mindset of going in like, oh, he didn't help me, or like nobody helped me, so why am I gonna help anybody? That is wrong. That is like backwards way of thinking. Why does everything have to be so transactional? Why do you need to gain something in order to help somebody? It doesn't have to be like that. Why don't you focus on giving as much as you can to the best of your abilities? You understand that if I would just wait around for somebody to save me, I'm not actually living to my true potential. Waiting around, sitting around, not doing anything worthwhile. You can change that. You understand that nobody cares about your problems the way you care about your problems, and that's okay, because nobody's truly going to understand you the way you understand you in the first place. So because you understand yourself the best, you know what you need to do to overcome your struggles, to overcome the obstacles in your life, and to be able to save yourself.